I'm Nathan Ord, a cyber defense major, a graduate student, and I got into cyber about 2 years ago when I learned about DSU. Originally I was a computer science student and then kind of just jumped into cybersecurity when I came here, so kind of diving into the deep end sort of thing. I think the fast-paced nature of the field is really interesting, that, and you constantly have to be learning something new. For the pipeline and that, it's just 2 rounds of CTF basically and some training involved. Yeah, so the pipeline team is more or less just training for future seasons of the US Cyber Games, US Cyber Team. We go through a number of rounds of basically classes or lectures that teach us about those different categories of CTF, and then beyond that there are also networking opportunities that we get to have. So we're talking with officials from CISA, we're talking to people from Microsoft and other networking opportunities across the board, basically setting us up to be the ultimate team member in the future, hopefully. Yeah, so I think one of the more interesting ones that I was encountering was PWN, binary exploitations. I describe it as like making a program do something that it's not supposed to do and then trying to exploit that to go further on a system, whether that's pop a shell and gain system access and go further beyond what that program is actually supposed to do. Besides being able to represent the United States on the international scale, or international stage, you also sort of have a platform for encouraging people to get into cybersecurity. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway that most people might not see necessarily. You're encouraging people who might just be like you, or who might have interest or budding interest in the field that may be on the fence about it, but seeing people go and travel and represent the United States, that I think hopefully encourages people. I would say that a lot of the hands-on nature of the classes here have kind of prepped me for this. You kind of have to dive into different topics when it comes to CTFs, and that's honestly not too different from how we do classes here. We're diving into topics, we're learning them sometimes on the fly, and it's not always perfect, but you do learn something and you get through it and you accomplish what you set out to do, and there's parallels there that are pretty awesome. But I think the most interesting thing out of it for me is just the networking opportunities, the inside of some businesses, organizations that you get to see. I mean, there's a number of web things that are exploitable, and that's really interesting to get into just because there's such a wide variety of web apps that can be exploited, or different vulnerabilities in web apps that can be exploited. So I think that's probably one of the more interesting things that I've encountered. I'd say it's a little intense, but it was just a lot of fun, honestly. You get to learn a lot of things really quickly, and there's a number of topics that you go through, and you kind of have to get an idea and feel for all of the things that you encounter, so it was just really interesting. That's the hope, yeah. So with the pipeline program too, you get kind of a fast pass. So initially there's the open CTF, and then they have the combine after that. If you make it through the pipeline program, you get the fast pass to the combine.